sipping on a peppermint tea, trying to calm myself down. That is the stress of free agency. So we'll go past player progressions because we've already seen that in the last video. We'll sim all to Summer League. We'll fill out automatically. Now, it's just saving for the minute. We'll go to 2K. Obviously, we have no servers, so they're going to have to be auto-generated rookies. I'm just going to simulate this with Simcast, and we can have a look. So you've got James Harden Jr. Tyreek Evans Jr. Oh, this is hysterical. I thought I was going to say Rasheed Wallace then. So you got a few players there. Let's have a look at their rating overall, because once the season starts, you obviously lose that. So Barnes is a small forward at 79, so that's good to look back on. 75 overall shooting guard. 6'7", small forward at 74, 73, 72, 71, and it'll Pope. Okay, and then we'll flip over to the world, see if there's some random really good international player. Not a lot. So, come on, give us one person who's good. So just a bunch of rubbishes really. So, whoops, we will simulate with Simcast, simulate the game. Oh wow, okay. USA are getting flogged at the moment. Odd, because the world team is pretty ordinary. Sorry if you can hear me swallowing that tea. Wow, they lost. So we'll look over at the box scores. This guy just decided to tear him a new one. Covington did all right. Seven-foot power forward, 80 overall, did all right. I'm shocked. I'm really shocked at that. So we'll skip out of that. After evaluating the roster, we've come that Mladen Gorovic would benefit tremendously if we sent him to the rebounding camp this off-season. Look, I've just upset him by saying don't tell me who to draft, so look, we'll go with that. So rebounding, I would have tried to better his mid-range and his inside before I tackled his rebounding, but you know, we're trying to keep everyone happy here. So he's now in the low 80s for both the reboundings, and his box out has gone up by 3. So I've got 4 more training camps here. Look, in a league that has ruined a lot of my team and a lot of my good hard work based off the servers being turned off, this is one I don't generally like to use because I feel it gives you an unfair advantage. But with the amount of 80 overall players that I've had to trade out in previous seasons, I'm going here with untapped potential with Ewing, and I'm going to go there with that. So he's only gone up to C+, so it's not a massive jump, but Perimeter shooting, we'll go with Pena. We'll keep improving that element of his game because he's a pretty much across the board sort of player. We'll give him that. I might give some combo guard stats to Owen just in case I play him as a point guard, or is that Henry that I want to do that with? .6'6". Excuse me, bit of a burp. So yeah, we'll do that with Henry. We'll give him some passing. Oh, that only did passing accuracy by 2. I thought it would go with all these other passing stats, but oh well. I've only got one more, and what I was going to do is Montgomery was a bad perimeter shooter. 49. This might just bump him up to where you can kind of maybe get away with shooting a couple of threes with him in a game, open, depending on how easy his stroke is. So we'll say yes to that. And that's all I can do, guys. I've got no other ability to buy any more free camps. That's just it. I've got no more. So we'll advance to next season, guys. Sorry, I was just in the middle of doing something else there. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at our rotations there. Caffey is 35, so I feel like he won't complain too much coming off the bench, but he also did have a keep it real, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. So we're going to go with if Porzingis whinges straight away, I feel like being a rookie, Gurovic could be a backup centre and be fine with it. So we'll go with that look. Porzingis, we'll bring him down to that. We will go with Ewing as my backup power forward. I just got to work out minutes here. I'm going to take all of them, give them to Ewing. Pena, I need to give him his far out. It's going to be tough trying to squeeze this amount of minutes into people. So Caffey, we're going to go Hamry and Owens. He's not going to like that. He isn't going to like that Caffey, even though he does have some. I'm going to take, being 35, I'm going to take some minutes off Payne there, freshen him up for the season. Henry is not going to like it. He's got a pat my back response. He's a second year. I really feel like he's going to sook and whinge. But that's probably our look there, guys. I wouldn't mind giving some more minutes to these guys. And maybe I possibly could if I flip Porzingis into the starting lineup and maybe bringing his minutes to like 25. I might be able to add maybe 2 minutes there and two minutes there. So, and maybe give 1 minute more to Caffey. So we'll get out of that and we'll go to live practice freestyle. I generally do this before every season. some reason that audio thing didn't work on part 1 of the off season, so now I'm going to have to trim that section out. So it's just loading that at the minute. We'll first have a look at Montgomery, since he's our new boy. So let's see how bad his stroke is. Bit of a high up stroke, so you got to hold it for a little bit longer than normal. Yeah, I'm not too fond of that, but just because a lot of my other players are quick fire release, so I just got to be prepared that I'm going to have to hold that on a bit longer, for like a millisecond longer. And probably, there you go, there's his dunking ability, so I think he's going to fit and make our style of play a lot better than having 3 bigs on like I did last year. But he also doesn't mind shooting this 3 here, so we'll just see if that is the case. Okay, so when we have him, we got to get him to the left hand side of the court on the 45. But we move over to there. Oh, and he hit that as well in the cold section. So, do one more little spinny move and dunk. Then we're going to move over to look at Gurovic. Don't tell me he's just a layup big and he doesn't do like thunder. Oh, yeah, okay. Okay, settle down, mate. So he looks like he's more of a finesse big, which I don't believe I've had really many finesse bigs inside. They've usually just been power dunkers, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but I know down low, if you get contested, a thunderous dunk maybe be less likely to be stopped than, say, some like footworking movements. But we'll see what his mid-range is like. Better shooting stroke than Montgomery. And sort of the guy I was sort of really keen on because of his height and his position. Power forward at 7 foot. I also thought about how I was going to trade Gabriel out, and that if somehow Porzingis gets injured at being 35 and his body maybe not being able to handle Sims, because that does happen, that this guy Ewing could probably play some backup centre minutes if that is the case. He seems like fun. He seems like a very fun big to play around with. Oh, pretty good. I know obviously in a game he might lose those dribbling moves to like turnovers, but he's don't have. Yeah, you don't have. Yeah, he's not too bad. And now we'll have the last look here at Caffey. Okay, yep. Okay, so he's a good dunker. Let's actually have a look at him. I don't believe I looked at his stats too closely. So he's 93 at threes. He's okay, wow. I wonder if these were semi-good at one point, but now that he's 35, they've dropped off because he just threw down a thunderous dunk. So that would lead me to believe that maybe he has like a signature skill of good dunking, maybe, even though both his ratings are quite low. Alright, so is there any other player we wanted to look at? Oh yeah, you guys didn't get to see Pena in the finals because he was injured and then I had that rotation glitch. But here he is, he's 6'10", small forward, can play both small forward, power forward and centre. This was a very risky player. We had I think we had pick 2 and pick 4 in this draft from Pena, and there was 269 overall point guards that I looked at, and I was going to draft on the sake of, you know, maybe some security around Cecil Payne if he got injured or that sort of stuff. But then this guy bobbed up and I had a look at him and I'm like, I already knew what his rating was because I scouted him quite heavily. And I always like long boys. I like the fact that he's 6'10". I think his wingspan is 7'3". Ooh. And he sort of had across the board sort of average stats, so like nothing to write home about, but all of his stats were something that you could probably make him better at. So yeah, and then Bates is obviously on the reserves, so he won't be able to be viewed. I won't play a game, I don't have time to, but that'll be another video there. So we'll take a look at scouting here. Cavaliers are touted to be average, as you could see with where their roster was, injury to Okafor, and they've lost their starting point guard potentially if he didn't re-sign with them. I potentially could have a pick 4 on my hands. Cavaliers might do well again. They seem to do well every year. They haven't had a season that have been quite average, but also looked at their roster and went, oh yeah, they're going to start to decline at some point if they don't manage off seasons well in the next few seasons. Hence why I made sure I try to get that Cavaliers pick a few years ago. It was like a future pick, and I just decided that I would clear someone off my books for a future pick, thinking that that might turn into something good in a few seasons, and by all accounts it looks like it might be the case. Now, I wouldn't necessarily draft someone who's got the same wingspan as their height. I've never done that before, so I don't think I'd ever start that. That would be someone I'd be keen on. 6'7" and 7'1" wingspan. He would all be like, if I'm honest, Daryl Pope and those two went in front of my pick there. I'd probably be inclined to draft James Harden Jr. Or Magnus Nurburg. The draft isn't that special. It isn't that special at all. So he might be someone that sort of, 7'2" doesn't always come along in every draft. We'll have a look at some team intel. We wanted to acquire Terrence Ferguson a couple of seasons. Haven't actually changed that. So I would dare say that I don't want him at all now with Henry and also Owens. Expiring contracts. Joey Montgomery does have that player option. Tim Bradford has got an expiring contract, so we're going to have to work out how we can fit him in. And this is where it gets interesting. I might not be able to sign Bradford. He may want too much. or I may not have enough to sign him. And this is where maybe keeping Caffey is probably one of the best off-season moves I made, because if I can't retain Bradford and I have to maybe move him on for, let's just say, a future pick and maybe a sort of a raw potential player, then all of a sudden I can put Caffey in that spot. We'll have a look quickly at two teams who played off in the finals. So did these guys pick up anyone interesting? They managed to get Conrad Ellis Jr. there. Kenny Duncan, I don't believe they had last year. Keller, 6'2", did they have him? Not too sure, but he'd match up better on Cecil Payne than 5'9" Eulis. So then we'll go over to the Cavs, who we absolutely decimated there in the finals. Let's see if they picked up anyone. They managed to re-sign Christian Stafford. Glenn Burks. They didn't have him. They didn't have him last, or did they? I can't remember. Maybe they did. Maybe they did. Maybe just he didn't really do much, so I don't remember. We'll go over to Oh, won't re-sign. Won't re-sign. Clearly this isn't a good fit. I'm going to be playing somewhere else next season. Oh. Okay. Okay. That's shit, because he's a good player. He's a really good player. So let's just see what we can get for him straight out. Let's just see what we can get for him. I didn't want to do this, but I'm going to lose him, so... What's that? Junior Clayton. Nah, that's horrible. Mitchell Wheeler, who we've had before. Kind of like a Dwayne Wade type. I did actually enjoy him, but I'm not going to include Pena in any trade. That would be unders, but it would give me a future first, which might be something I do, but Bradford's really good, so Bob Morgan, who I've had before. None of these are enticing, guys. Timmy Kerr. I've had him before as well. Oh no. That's something I would do. That is something I would do for sure. A like for like. He's younger. Like for like in terms of ability, and I get a future first. He's 99 at threes. Look, I'm not going to waste any time here. I'm just going to go straight in. He said he won't resign. That rarely ever changes, if at all. So, sorry. That's sad. This is a sad moment. I could have got more, but I'm not going to waste another 5-10 minutes trying to find out, and my team's that good that I can maybe take a chance on this maybe not working out the way someone else would. So you know what I'm going to do? Ewing's just going to have to play does he have friendly, laid back? So that might work. Wow, my starting five looks so much different. Looks so much different. And we'll give 3 minutes to Henry. So what we're going to do here, just say simply business. That's pretty much all I want to do. Now I'm going to actually check out whatever his name is, Estrada or whatever his name is, in the practice, and then that'll do us. I know I've said I'm going to go like 3 or 4 times now, but far out. Bradford's gone. Bradford's gone. That's tough. That's tough. Also knowing that I'm probably going to have to, because Estrada or whatever his name is going to be a free agent this season, so I'm going to have to find a way to sign him. I just could not be bothered dealing with the bullshit that I'd have to face in keeping him happy. Yep, so his name is Alberto Estrada. Oh, it's going to be hard because he sort of has lighter hair, but he looks similar in stature than as Cecil Payne. So, which isn't a bad thing, because if he's good quality, I might be trying to pad Cecil's stats, and Estrada might just get some cheeky little numbers from that. So, all in all, I don't feel I lost much with the Bradford debacle. He banked that one off the glass. Whoops. That went in, despite it being such a horrible... Okay, so there's enough there to suggest that he'll be alright, but his defense is the issue. Like, Bradford's defense was so good, so it's not great compared to Bradford's. It was probably A+, but wow. Sort of, they do look a little bit similar, Estrada and Payne, just with different hair colour. Okay. Some thinking, some absolute thinking. Alright guys, I am going to go